And we work very personally with all of the different companies out there: home care, home health, hospice, skilled nursing, anything under that healthcare umbrella. And what I'm going to be talking about is the importance of using a recruiter in both employee side and candidate side, because I find some people just don't understand that process, even though it's a little self-explanatory. But recruiters serve as a guide for your human resources department, and we really help take that load off of your human resources department. I know a lot of you have met a human resources person and they're swamped. And you know, we understand your philosophy, your core values, your culture, and how important it is to get that right person into your family. We take the stress off the human resource, and we do the negotiations for you and make sure, you know, everyone's getting that right pay. And all your HR person has to do is send the paperwork, and we send the right person. I know many of the companies you see openings consistently. Part of that is the nature of healthcare, and part of that is that HR person sometimes sees the front line of that person, but they don't see what we see. We see the jumping around. We see where those candidates are applying. We see that they're applying to every job under the sun. We know where they've been, how they work, and make sure we know who's going to have that long-lasting relationship with your company, as opposed to just using you for that stepping stone. Ultimately, recruiters help you save time, money, energy in hiring, and get it right the first time, instead of seeing those constant openings of DONs, social workers, marketers, and everything else. The benefit of being recruited is, isn't it great to always have someone on your side, to be in your corner rooting for you? Maybe you keep applying for a job and you're not getting that attention that you need. We help highlight your resume, make sure you're applying for the right position for you, help you think outside the box. You know, sometimes you don't realize you're a great marketer, or you're a great liaison, or maybe you're not good at outside sales. Maybe that's not for you. So we make sure that you are getting that highlight that you need. And now is a totally different platform. You know, some people aren't doing in-person interviews at all. You don't have to wear pants. You should, but you don't necessarily have to wear pants. But promote yourself professionally and make sure, you know, you don't have distractions. I sent my husband to drive my baby around so you wouldn't hear her screaming right now. But really seriously, present yourself how you would in any other working day. And be adaptable. I think now that's really the most no-brainer thing, because you're gonna do all other duties at this point. Or, you know, you are working from home. You know, you have to change the way you have been doing your job for the last 20 years or 30 years, or maybe you just started in the work field and you don't know what you're doing, so you have to learn. Marketing is a different way now. If you're going into a facility and they're not letting guests in anyway, they don't want to see you. They want your support from the outside, or they want lunch. So just make sure you're doing the right thing, and don't go above and beyond now in the way you used to. Find other ways to do that. And on both ends, recruiters serve as your guide, like I was saying. We want to have your puzzle completed. We want to make sure you're getting the right salary offered or received. You're getting the right people there and you feel secure with your team. We have that knowledge. We want you to trust in our knowledge. I used to be a matchmaker, and it's kind of the same algorithm in hiring. You know, you need to be open to things you just don't see on your own. How great does it feel when you make that perfect placement in love, in life, and in work? I think that is a really key component, is just being able to think outside the box, because maybe that person who has been working as a marketer for the last 10 years has lost their steam. And maybe somebody who's jumping in, who's been doing other things, has that experience to really sell. So you really need to expand your mind. And again, I'm going to say particularly now, because it's going to be different from now on. This virus has changed everything in everybody's business. So just to talk to a recruiter and get their opinion isn't going to cost you anything. The cost is when you make a placement. So we're here for you to look at resumes. We're here for you to look at things from another side or just have a conversation. It's an open-ended thing. If you decide you want to use a recruiter, we're kind of like realtors, you know, we'll show until you make that decision at the end of the day. I'm here for you. And Brad Allswang is our owner and senior recruiter. He's been around 12 years. He's been recruiting 20 years. So that's my owner, but there's tons of different companies to use. And we're happy to help in any way we can, in love and in work, and love for what you do. So I think that's kind of it for me. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. And if you have a resume that you want to send over and have it looked at, you know, we never tell any of your information to anybody else. Everything is between you and the recruiter. So thank you.
Lindsay, I have a question. How do recruiters look at gaps in employment or multiple employments in a short period of time? This is healthcare. It's very volatile.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that? What's your perception?
So we have a conversation with the person and we get to know them and see kind of, are they a job jumper? Are they, you know, going from social working position to social working position? Sometimes it's the culture at the communities they've chosen and they're not the right fit. And sometimes it's the person. So we really get to know and screen that person and understand where they're coming from. Maybe they've had to drop everything and, you know, help their own family member. We don't know until we talk to them. And when we present that resume to a company like Gentle Home, say we have someone for you, we're going to say, hey, I know you'll see some jumping around here, but X, Y, and Z happened and they're this kind of worker and they're this kind of person. I think they're ready to settle down now. They're not going to jump because we know when somebody's serious and when somebody's going to hop. So we kind of take that conversation and you can see right through a person in 30 seconds. On paper, they look a lot of the time like they are. But in healthcare, it's a totally different world. So, you know, it all depends on the core values of a company and where they're coming from. And if, you know, sometimes it just is not the right fit. And that's why recruiting, it makes it a totally different ball game because we can help you present yourself a little better, but we also can help you talk through your gaps, if that makes sense.
That's great. Good feedback.
Lindsay, what's Brad's last name?
Allswang?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've used your organization many times to recruit staff in the past. You've done a great job. The difference I've seen when I've used yours opposed to others is how long the employee winds up staying. They stay longer. So you do a nice job in terms of vetting them. Plus, we get a lot of candidates, and this is for nursing. We've used them.
Yeah.